Why did Tuesday Weld lie to the world about her own mother being dead? And what secrets did she take with her when she walked away? Stay with me, because Tuesday's real story is even darker than the headlines. Tuesday Weld wasn't born Tuesday. She came into the world in 1943 as Susan Kerr Weld. By age 4, her life flipped upside down when her father suddenly died, leaving the family broken. Her mother, desperate to survive, made a choice. Her daughter would pay the bills. At 8 years old, Susan became Tuesday, a child model, a perfect little doll in magazine ads, a paycheck with pigtails. By 12, she was acting in movies. But by 15, her name was already on gossip columns for something way bigger. Older men, wild parties, sneaking into nightclubs. It wasn't a rumor. She admitted it herself. While other teens were in homeroom, Tuesday Weld was out with movie stars twice her age. Even the king himself, Elvis Presley. And when reporters clutched their pearls, Tuesday shrugged. "I skipped childhood. Why not skip my teens too?" She was beautiful, but dangerous. Directors didn't know what to do with her. She was too real, too raw, and totally unpredictable. And yet, they couldn't look away. She played troubled girls, heartbreakers, women on the edge, because that's exactly who she was off camera. At 9 years old, Susan had a nervous breakdown. In an effort to start over, the family relocated to Fort Lauderdale, where Susan was able to go to school with some regularity. But the damage was done. Deprived of a childhood, she was soon reaching for adult comforts and began drinking at the tender age of 10. The relentless push to earn continued. Weld returned to New York with her mother to pursue acting. At 12, she landed her first TV appearance and a role in Alfred Hitchcock's The Wrong Man, a remarkable feat, but for Weld, the experience was anything but glamorous. Her emotional struggles deepened, and she began abusing pills in addition to alcohol. Despite her suffering, Weld's talent kept her in demand. Her first lead role was in the 1956 jukebox musical Rock, Rock, where she stood out, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Critics noted her portrayal of teenage characters felt disturbingly adult. Time magazine dubbed her the archetypal nymphet. It was clear, her troubled upbringing was bleeding into her performances. In Rally Round the Flag, Boys, 1958, she starred opposite Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. Her chemistry with Dwayne Hickman in that film led to her role in the CBS sitcom The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. But tension brewed. Weld and Hickman clashed behind the scenes, and she was eventually dropped from the show after a racy scene with co-star Warren Beatty raised eyebrows with sponsors. Far from discouraged, Weld dove deeper into roles that courted controversy. At 17, she starred in the adults-only Sex Kittens Go to College. Even more shocking, she had filmed The Private Lives of Adam and Eve a year earlier, at 16. The film stirred outrage for mixing risque content with biblical themes and was condemned by religious groups. Her off-screen life was just as provocative. She dated a string of much older men, including Frank Sinatra, Raymond Burr, and George Hamilton. At 16, she was romantically linked to 45-year-old actor John Ireland. She wore her rebellious streak like a badge of honor, showing up barefoot to interviews, flaunting her defiance. In 1961, Weld earned acclaim in return to Peyton Place, playing a young woman trapped in a traumatic family dynamic. That same year, she starred alongside Elvis Presley in Wild in the Country. The two became romantically involved, but Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, quickly ended the fling, fearing Weld's bad girl image would tarnish Presley's reputation. Interestingly, director Stanley Kubrick offered her the role of Lolita in his adaptation of the controversial novel. Weld famously turned it down, saying, "I didn't have to play it. I was Lolita." After a string of roles that didn't suit her, Weld took a break and moved to Greenwich Village for a reset. The decision paid off. She returned rejuvenated, starring in The Cincinnati Kid with Steve McQueen and a well-received TV adaptation of The Crucible. Critics began to take her seriously. In 1965, she married screenwriter Claude Hards and had a daughter, Natasha. But the marriage didn't last. Weld later blamed her domineering mother, who disapproved of all her relationships. Her role in 1968's Pretty Poison became another turning point. Though the film eventually gained cult status, her clashes with inexperienced director Noel Black were intense. Despite personal tensions, her performance alongside Anthony Perkins hinted at her deeper range. Weld wasn't afraid to say no. In 1971, she turned down Roman Polanski's offer to star in Macbeth, rejecting the director's demand for nudity in a sleepwalking scene. In hindsight, given Polanski's later legal troubles, that choice may have saved her from deeper trauma. Her performance in Play It As It Lays, 1972, again with Anthony Perkins, earned her critical acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination. She followed it with Looking for Mr. Goodbar in 1977, sharing the screen with Diane Keaton and earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. That same year, she began dating rising star Richard Gere. She also crossed romantic paths with Al Pacino, a link she shared with Keaton. Weld's personal life remained complicated. She married comedic actor Dudley Moore in 1975 and had a son, but the marriage ended in 1980. In 1985, she married violinist Pinchas Zukerman. The relationship was rocky, and by 1998, they had divorced. Perhaps most bizarrely, they had purchased a home in Montauk, once the site of a horrific murder-suicide. Weld reportedly had no qualms about moving in. After their split, the house became notoriously hard to sell, rumored to be haunted. In 2009, she finally offloaded the property for $2 million below asking. Weld's long-standing tension with her mother took a dark turn late in life. She told people her mother had died, even though she hadn't. In response, Yoseni Balfour Kerr published a scathing book titled If It's Tuesday, I Must Be Dead. The tell-all cast Weld as the villain, echoing Mommy Dearest. Yoseni passed away in 2001, 2 years before the book's release. Weld later admitted to feeling both relief and ambivalence at her mother's passing, even suggesting she still felt her presence. After decades in the spotlight, Weld left Hollywood in 2001 and moved to Colorado in search of peace. Rumors swirled, claims of bipolar disorder and occultism, but nothing was confirmed. In 2018, she returned to Los Angeles, though she's remained largely out of the public eye. Though she may never grace the silver screen again, Tuesday Weld's legacy endures, a portrait of raw talent, resilience, and rebellion in a town that rarely forgives either.